What's up, college baseball fans? Welcome to the weekend number 4 recap episode of the 11.7 podcast. Right now, it's just myself and Dimitri. Jack should be hopping on here in a little bit. He's in the process of potentially moving full time to Washington, D.C., so good for him. But we want to recap the weekend and then preview the midweek, just like we always do on Sundays. And there's no better way to start it than talking about our boy Quiggs, the Coastal Carolina savant, going super viral, 32 million views on his video. We will not say what the video is, but it's pretty funny. So if you guys don't follow Brian Quigley on Twitter, go look at you've probably already seen the video. Hilarious way to put college baseball on the map. It's those type of videos slash stories of people in the stands doing funny things that remains constant in college baseball. Every single year we get a video like this, and it happened to come on March 9th. So congrats, or I guess maybe March 8th technically. So congrats, Quigs. You've been a long time listener of the pod. You had your moment. That was big time. Cool. Anyways, dude, what I want to talk about here first
Wait,
is
hold on. Don't you need to talk about home field?
yeah, I will. I'll get there in a second, but
Oh, sorry.
I promise I'll talk about our home field apparel sponsors. Don't you worry. But right now we have two undefeated teams left. It's Tennessee and Florida State. Throwback to that check swing of Blake Burke back in June of last year that could have potentially decided the fate of those teams. Maybe Florida State wins it all if they call it a swing. Personally, I don't know if it was a swing. That's in the past. I'd probably lean on the side of like let's let these guys settle it on the field. But as of March 10th, 2025, these are the two undefeated teams in the country, and it just shows how hard it is. 15 games into the season to not lose. Doesn't matter who's on your schedule. Everybody loses at some point. I wouldn't necessarily say that these are my number one and number two teams as far as could win the College World Series. They're definitely in the conversation. I think you have to add teams like LSU, like Clemson. Uh, I know North Carolina lost 2 out of 3 to Stanford, but I still think I put them in that Omaha caliber type teams. But I think it gives us a really good gauge on two teams that are playing great baseball right now and have very little flaws in their game. Um, the bullpens have been great. I'll tell you this: Florida State's offense has been phenomenal, especially with some of the younger pieces that they have. Hand up, that was something I didn't expect. I didn't expect Florida State's offense to be clicking like this early in the season. So good for them. Um, but real quick, Dimitri, who do you think streak lasts longer? Undefeated streak, Tennessee or Florida State? Tennessee has a midweek against maybe North
West,
Alabama,
West
or no,
Georgia.
West Georgia, and then a 3-game series against Florida. Florida State has Florida in the midweek, and then have 3 games against Boston College. Correct. So who do you think streak lasts longer?
I think if Florida State gets through Florida on Tuesday, it's gonna be longer. Um, you know what? Where is that game? Where is that game? Florida State on Tuesday. Is it neutral in Jacksonville or is it?
I actually don't know. I didn't look that up.
I'll pull it up right now. But I think my money. I would just a smart person would take Florida State. You can see them sweeping Boston College. Tennessee sweeping Florida is possible, but is it less likely? And I think we all know how Florida plays midweek. I'll take Florida State.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
at home. Even oh yeah, at home.
At
Florida
home,
State
okay.
in town.
Look,
Yeah.
I agree with you there. I don't know if Tennessee wouldn't necessarily sweep Florida, but they have a chance. The way that they're playing right now, they have a chance to sweep anybody in the country. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Obviously, it's not the most
For
important
fun.
story going on in college baseball, but it is something that we always keep up with every single year. Last year was Texas A&M and Florida State as the last two undefeateds. and Florida State ended up becoming the last undefeated team, going
19.
19-0. Yeah, 19-0 last year. So they're back in the same picture here. Man, what a blessing we have in this game of college baseball to have such dominant left-handed pitching on Friday night. This was one of the notes I wrote down between Doyle, Norby, Spencer, Anderson, Zerwa, Arnold, Prager, Jacobs, Keljo. All of those guys are workhorse aces on the mound for their teams, and they all start on Friday, and they're all left-handed. It, and honestly, Liam Doyle has been unhittable this year. What we saw Ethan Norby do for East Carolina, 19 strikeouts against Coastal Carolina on Friday, was special. Jared Spencer for Texas, automatic W every time he's on the mound, even though they did blow it opening day against Louisville. He's just been unhittable too.
We talk about
Cade
this
Anderson from LSU, I think, has the most pitchability in this year's draft class. Just mixing pitches up. He has hitters off balance every single time he steps on the mound. Here's a name. I actually Joseph, I think is his first name, Joseph Zerwa, Dzierwa for Michigan State, a 6'8" alien that we talked about on Thursday's episode last week. He's an automatic win for Michigan State every time he's on the bump. And then we all know Jamie Arnold might go number 1 overall this year in this year's draft. We get Prager from Texas A&M, who's been doing the dang thing since, I don't know, 2015, it feels like. A guy that just Mr. Consistent, 10 punch outs, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs every time he's out there. Ben Jacobs from Arizona State. Rough first couple starts, but carried a perfect game into the 6th inning this past weekend. And then Nelson Keljo of Oregon State, another guy. Workhorse for him. It feels like he gets a win every time he's on the bump. So left-handed pitching at a plethora this year. Good for those guys.
Yeah. I think I was just going to say earlier, I think we talked about how Texas has blown almost every single Jared Spencer start.
Well, they lost opening day to Louisville. But it was not Jared Spencer's fault. I think he had 6 innings, no runs,
Yeah,
and then in the 9th inning, Louisville came back and tied the game up. They went to extras and then they won.
So I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, he's only 2-0, and he's given up 2 earned runs all year.
Yeah,
How
he's
crazy is
special.
that?
He's climbing up draft boards right now.
5 2/3, no run, no decision. 4 1/3.
It wouldn't surprise, dude. I'm looking at it right now. It would not surprise me if 5 of these guys go in the first round this year. 5 collegiate left-handed pitchers going in the first round.
Who,
Think about
Spencer?
it, like Liam Doyle, automatic first rounder if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
Jared Spencer, first rounder, he stays healthy.
Arnold.
Cade Anderson, first rounder. Actually, I don't know if Cade Anderson's eligible this
He's
year.
a sophomore.
Sophomore, not eligible. Zerwa, first round. Arnold, no doubter. And then you have like Keljo and Prager, who they don't have necessarily like the.
I don't think Prager's not even a top 3 rounder.
Yeah,
He's a
I don't know.
He's a 5th to 8th round. He's a senior, right?
Yeah, his stuff doesn't pop off the charts like a lot of these guys, but the pitchability is there and like the winnability, and he's somebody you can plug into a major league starting rotation right now as like a number 4, number 5, and he would be. Yeah, dude, I think so. I think he's pretty gross.
I think he's a really talented, solid, but I don't think he's a major league arm. I think he's just a good high-end college arm. That makes sense. Like thinking of who am I trying to think of?
You're going to compare him
to in general. There's guys that just are so good in college that they're just not big leaguers, but they're just so good in college and they have that respect and they win. They know how to win and play in college. I'm trying to think.
I think I would compare him like as a pitcher to like a Reed Detmers maybe of Louisville who pitches in the big leagues.
No,
Reed Detmers was dominant in college.
Than him.
What?
Detmers had way higher ceiling.
I don't know about that, dude. I think you need to go. I need to go read the
96, 97.
I don't know about that. Was he? I thought he was a 93 to 94 guy in college. It doesn't matter either way. I'm a believer in Ryan Prager. Why would you not be?
Yeah, Detmer was like 93, 97 in college, if I remember. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, anyways, we don't need to
Prager's
argue
what,
over
88, 90?
higher than that, dude. He's in the 90s, low 90s. 4 pitches.
Every time I remember Detmer, I'm like 89, 91. Maybe whatever. It doesn't matter. I think he's good. I just don't think he's a first round pick. That's all. That's all we're talking about.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say first round pick unless the team is looking for just a guy that they can plug and play right away, sign for a cheap amount. I mean, that he could definitely slip to the first round there. But anyways, the point is we are spoiled this year with left-handed dominant pitching, and I'm all about it. It's going to be a fun postseason, I'll tell you that, when these guys start matching up against each other. Whoa, we got Jack here. What
Hey,
up, playa?
hey,
Yahtzee.
hey.
Gentlemen, good to hear you. It was fun to play audience for a bit. Ryan Prager was a third rounder, was he not, though, last year?
Something like that. I know he got drafted last year.
I'm not going to lie. I looked it up. Third rounder, 81st overall to the Angels. And he decided to come back to school. I was trying to
That's
do my
why,
best.
that's why we have you.
Hi, Ben. Do you think he goes higher or lower?
If a team's trying to save money, he'll go higher.
He'll go higher.
Yeah. I think, because you know what you have, right? Like, at the very least, he's a guy that's going to throw 6-7 years in the minor leagues, and he's going to go out and get 6 quality innings every single freaking start. But a name that Detmers feels spot on. But Ben, I know we're Houston biased as heck, but doesn't Dallas Keuchel feel like a perfect comp too, but like with a little bit more velo?
I love that comp. That's a good one because at Arkansas he was good, but he wasn't great. Like Prager has a way better collegiate career than Dallas Keuchel.
Significantly.
All right, hand up. I said Prager more like a 5th to 8th round guy, and I mean that can still be true if he gets the senior sign treatment. But hand up, I thought he wasn't. I thought he wasn't a projectable high ceiling guy, but maybe they're just going to take him for face value. He is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I will say this. I don't want to beat a dead horse because we'll move on. He's exactly what we've always talked about. Like, he's the definition of pitchability. He is the definition of a Friday night guy that wants the ball in the moment. And the lost art of pitching that we joke about all the time. Like, he is the epitome of go-to guy on Friday night.
For sure. Yep. So I'll do the home field apparel ad now. So check out our partners now that Jack is here. I know Jack and Home Field have done some things on the side that they're very, very they're in love with Jack DeLongchamp right now. He is their flops on the ground reporter and sent him out to Arizona week 1, and I think possibly some other places here later this season too. So keep an eye out on that. But check out Home Field Apparel. 15% off using promo code CWS25, and they are high quality, just the best people in the industry for officially licensed collegiate gear, and a lot of it's throwback retro logos. And plus, they do cool stuff like hats, bomber jackets, hoodies, pullovers, jerseys, and just be on the lookout for the college baseball drop coming here after college basketball season. It's going to be big time. So they're our premier sponsor, Home Field Apparel, just like last year. Good to us. You guys be good to them. And I wanted to wait until Jack got here to do that. So cool. Jack, we to give you the quick recap, we talked about Tennessee, Florida State being the only 2 undefeated teams left, and how I wouldn't say it's that much of a surprise because both of them have had the lesser side of a tough schedule, but just to win 15 games in a row to start a season is pretty impressive. That's why the only 2 teams have done it. So, any thoughts there before we move on?
Pretty cool to see Florida State go back to back, right? Weren't they 18-0 to start last year? I mean, heck of a nod to Link and the boys. You're right, not a very difficult schedule, but as we can see going around the country, like winning's really hard. Like I know Alabama falls today to a Big South powerhouse, but winning's tough. So kudos to 2 programs that have been able to do it back-to-back seasons.
Got it.
Yep. Presbyterian gets Alabama today, and It wasn't like Alabama made a ton of mistakes. If anything, I think Presbyterian made more mistakes than Alabama. But hitting with runners in scoring position, they threw a graphic up there. I think Presbyterian had 0 hits with runners in scoring position the first 2 days, and then they get 5 or 6 today. And it's like that's what wins you baseball games. So
Hey,
good for them.
just to circle back on it, Georgia's 18-1. They lost a Sunday game against UNC Wilmington. Like Georgia could be 19-0, but they're not. It's not easy to just win.
Georgia could also be 13-6 right now.
True.
Georgia has been playing in some dog fights, like up by 7 runs and then put up a 6 spot right in your face.
Winning 15, 16, however many games they've won in a row. I don't care who you're playing, it's hard to do.
Yep. It's tough. So let me do this here. Let me talk about some shout outs before we get into the I don't know, I would say the game recaps. Blake Gillespie of Charlotte throws a no-hitter, 113 pitches, 11 strikeouts against James Madison, 9 innings. It's rare enough to see a pitcher go complete game 9 innings nowadays. And to have a no-hitter for 9 innings against a Sunbelt team, tip a cap there. Good job, Blake Gillespie. Also, Drew Horn of Middle Tennessee State throws a no-hitter. I think the first in Middle Tennessee State history, maybe the second. I don't remember what the tweet said, but he also had 13 strikeouts. Well, actually, he had 13. Gillespie only had 11. So good job, Drew Horn. And then Tennessee combined no-hitter, but I think that was a 7-inning game.
Good for them.
Yep, good. We got some no-hitters out there. Latrey McCollum, walk-off homer for UCSB, the Santa Barbara Gauchos, down by 1, bottom of the 9th. Good for him. And that was a cycle.
That's sick.
Walk-off homer for a cycle.
Bomb down by 1 to finish a cycle.
Guys, sick. outside of a walk-off grand slam, I don't know if there's a cooler feat in baseball than to hit a walk-off homer for the cycle. Like what else ranks up there with them?
I have a hot take.
Wait. The same team did it. A walk-off grand slam to go to Omaha.
Yeah.
The same team did it.
That's true. Yeah, the Gauchos.
I think cycles are a little overrated.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
And this is coming from a guy who could never dream of hitting a triple, so maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I don't appreciate cycles. I think I would rather have a 2-homer game than a cycle.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Give me 2 solo homers. Give me 2 solo homers and instead of a single, double, triple homer.
If you're looking at your stat line and you see 2 home runs rather than 1 home run, 1 double, and 1 triple, I'm taking the 2 home runs too.
Triples are so underappreciated too. I would rather, and if I'm filling up my stat box, I would rather have like 15 doubles, 10 homers than what is that? So that's 25 extra base hits versus 7 doubles, 8 triples, and 10 homers or whatever. Like triples are so out for me. I don't like triples.
Dude, that's a cold take. Do you not remember? I don't know. We did see in Jacksonville the first career home run was an inside the Parker. That was a hell of a feat. But I don't think. I mean, triples are exciting as hell.
They're exciting. And again, I don't know if I've ever hit one. Maybe one in my life. Maybe that's why I hate them.
In pro ball, hitter jog to second base. They don't want triple. Their bonuses pay for doubles and home runs. They don't need to run hard to get a triple. They just jog to second base. They don't want to get a triple. They want doubles.
That must have been why they get the
sprinting out of the box to get to 2.
But what I'm saying, like if you hit a ball off the wall, you're cruising into second. You're not even trying to go to third. It's just there's no reason for it. So
unless you're Evan Gaddis in 2015.
I thought I was one too many Astros comps today, but we started talking triples, and I almost shouted out El Oso Blanco. Thank you for that.
Yep. Man, good job. All right, so do we want to rip the Band-Aid off?
Yeah,
there is going to be no Honolulu regional this year. Hawaii loses 2 out of 3 to Riverside. That's not a good look. They would legitimately have to win the series against Santa Barbara, Irvine, and win 3 of 4
and
against
not
Oregon
slip
State.
up. And not slip up.
Slip up. So it's probably not happening, boys. Sucks.
I mean, it's not dead yet, but it's their first weekend off the island. I get it, but you can't mess up anymore. That was your one fuck up. That was it. You got to be clean and perfect the rest of the way.
Yeah, they just can't hit. And also, we found out that this weekend series against UC Santa Barbara in Hawaii is not going to be televised. Can you believe that, Jack?
It's heinous. I think that if there's an angel investor out there that wants to send the boys out to Honolulu, not because that we feel like we need the vacation, but more so because we're ready to get flops on the ground, set up a GoPro and do some radio broadcasting, we're ready. Just give us a shout. But that's going to be such good baseball. And I am holding out hope that I do believe this conference is good enough that if they go run the table and they finish first, that the needle that is 11.7 has got enough pull to at least put it in the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, you win this conference. I truthfully believe there's enough noise that is being generated and rippling from this thing account that people will go, hey, let's think about the Rainbow Warriors. Now, with that being said, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean, though?
It would be cool.
God, you can just win 2 out of 3. You cannot lose to Riverside. It just cannot happen. And you got to televise these games. Like, tell Spectrum to beat it and get some in-house students to broadcast the game. We need eyeballs. The committee, we need every eyeball you can get on this program in this stadium to get you a regional. Losing the Riverside is problem number 1. Santa Barbara coming to town, you're not televising. That's problem number 2. Regional dead. It's dead.
We're at the point where we need Marshall to win the Sunbelt.
Yeah, I love
that 4-game sweep over Marshall. We need the Thunder and Herd to win the Sunbelt.
Marshall wins the Sunbelt. Northeastern wins the Colonial. The Coastal.
Yeah.
And Wichita State wins the American.
Yeah.
Yep. There's our formula right there. But anyways, let's move on. What series do you guys want to talk about? I have like 8 of them written down. Do you want to talk about Coastal ECU? Fun series. I probably watched the most of that series of any other series. I'm trying to watch a ton.
Shout out Ethan Norby. 19K through 7.
He must hide the ball really well, or his advanced metrics like spin rate and stuff must be.
His fastball just does not drop. What is it, IVB?
Yeah.
But yeah, IVB is the anti-gravity one. That and his spin, it was just really. They also were taking a lot of strike 3 calls. A lot.
That's why he had to have been hiding the baseball.
So that center field cam that they kept going to, I don't know if it was a true like circle change or if it was just a hard sinker. I think it had him insanely off balance. That anytime he threw that rising fastball, like, it just froze the hell out of him.
It froze him.
Yeah, he was really good.
Going right at the knee, the shin knee area, and it just skips right in the bottom of that strike zone. Boom. Left, right, left, take a seat. It happens so many times. So, yeah.
But you know what makes a great team, though, guys, is coming back and winning the series on the road after getting punched out. I think they ended up striking out 22 times that Friday game. Coastal comes back and destroys them game 2, and then game 3 was back and forth, and Coastal ended up winning. So the Shants, man, they were ranked 24th going into the weekend. They get a big series win on the road. They're the real deal. They pitch a lot better this year. The arms they're running out, they are getting people out, and that's something we're not really used to seeing. So is it Matt Williams? Is that the pitching coach's name from South Carolina? Yeah, he's done a lot of work since he's been there.
Yeah. I think this series says a lot about East Carolina too. I think it says what we said before. They're not playing bad. They're a good team. They just don't have that upper tier stratosphere level to win these series. Guys, like Norby did his job. That's a core piece that you build your team around, and he's the leader. Their lineup, I just don't know if their lineup has a Jenkins Coward or a Norby, the older brother, or these guys that just like will come in there and hit that 3-run homer in the 8th inning, and the jungle goes crazy and they win the game. Like that's what I'm used to seeing from East Carolina. They just don't have that. They could have it in May. Somebody's going to step up. That team's going to be good in May.
I think going to Omaha this year. I promise you that. 3 seed at the Clemson Regional. Like that, they're going to make it to Omaha this year. The year that nobody's expecting it, it's going to happen.
It would be beautiful. And I will say this too, because I'm really glad that you said that, Dimitri, because it did feel like it said a lot about ECU, where you go, hey, I think the whole world had them in the Survivor, where it just felt like Coastal was going to run away with it. A lot of fight. Even this Sunday rubber match, it was 5-4 today, a really close ball game. Tying run gets to the plate in the 9th. And instead of saying, hey, maybe there's some holes offensively, I want to use this as an opportunity to brag on that Coastal weekend rotation that we said from the jump, man. They didn't have Cullen McKay, the UVA transfer, on Friday night. Now, granted, Norby punches out 19. McKay, who's actually, I think, 3rd right now in Ks per 9, he's trying to cut down on the free 90s because he's walked a lot of guys. He's got elite stuff. And then on Saturday, you've got an insanely projectable draft guy in Cameron Flukie, who, Ben, we saw in Jacksonville.
He was so good there.
He's 95, 96. Everything moves. It's uncomfortable as hell. He's got the highest fastball strike percentage in the entire country 4 weeks in. And all of that being said, we talked about pitchability earlier in this thing. Riley Eichhoff on Sunday for them is an older veteran guy, 4 pitches, 4 a strike whenever he wants. He's going to be a problem in the Sunbelt, right? Like if you're Coastal Carolina and you go, man, if we can just split and get to Sunday, I'd be willing to bet that Coach Schnall and the boys are going to roll the dice and go, I like our Sunday guy better than anyone else in the Sunbelt this season. He's that good, and he was the difference maker today. They are, you said the real deal. We go, hey, man, I wish they had the bats with these arms. I think the bats get enough done, and they're scoring runs in a different way. Like, this is a really fun ball club.
No doubt. Do you guys want to stick in the Sun Belt here, or do you want to bounce to the Big Ten?
Let's go Sun Belt again, and then we'll jump all the way out.
Okay. Your boy, Matthew Russo, Dimitri. Big-time clutch hit, walk-off homer, dead central Saturday. It looked like Southern Miss was going to lose the series there on Saturday. They tie it up in the 7th or the 8th with a single up the middle, and then Matthew Russo walk-off. Big-time momentum into today. And today's game was fun to watch. I watched the whole thing. I think UNCW is really good, but Southern Miss at home is just a different beast. They find a way to win, and sure, they don't have a ton of big boppers, but they have guys that put quality at bats together, move runners. They're not swinging for the fences over and over, and there's something about that turf that they play on. Those ground balls sneak through the infield when they're hitting 9 times out of 10. I don't get it. Like Southern Miss knows their turf better than anybody, because it felt like there was 6 or 7 balls today that were hard hit ground balls that just got through the infield with nobody touching it. So,
yeah, Southern Miss. I mean, hey, win 2 out of 3 every weekend. You're a good baseball team, and that's what they've continued.
And they've done it. They won 2 out of 3 against Louisiana Tech, win 2 out of 3 against TCU, win 2 out of 3 against UNCW. Those are all postseason teams.
Oh yeah,
and they're just going to continue to build this resume.
On the flip side, I think Wilmington's schedule is sneaky hard. They had Quinnipiac in Georgia, 2-2 opening weekend. Like when you're opening up the top 10 SEC team in the country opening weekend, and you go 2-2 that weekend, just fine. That's great. And then you got your cupcake UNC Asheville at home. Okay, you get your work in. You figure out, you get your work in. You get your reps going. Then they have midweek Coastal, Liberty at home for 2, at Louisiana, at Southern Miss for 3. That's a hard schedule. It's not an easy cakewalk. So I think UNC Wilmington is going to be just fine and just ready for the Coastal Conference play. I think both teams are going to be postseason teams.
Dimitri, look this up for me. Has Tanner Thatch hit a home run yet? If he has, it's only been 1 or 2.
Tanner Thatch. Let's see.
He's not the same 27 homers. So when he gets going, they're going to win a lot more games.
Tanner Thatch hit a home run on opening day, and then he hit game one against Liberty. He has 2 homers.
2 homers.
And he had no doubles and no triples.
Yeah, and that's actually a positive sign, right, for the Seahawks?
I think it's a blessing in disguise.
Best player's not performing the way that you're used to seeing him. So once he gets going, which he will, he'll be just fine.
The one thing that is happening right now with him that we're seeing with a guy like Jay Laviolette and other superstars in the sport, where like the offense might feel a little bit thinner. Like he was a guy that inverted that strikeout to walk ratio a season ago, where it was like, I mean, he had more walks and HBPs than strikeouts. Right now, that number's a little bit skewed the other way. I think when he stops being so swing happy and feel like he has to do it on his own, and I think getting a win down at the peak kind of proves like, hey, there's a lot more help behind him. So you're just looking and waiting for him to settle in a little bit.
Yeah,
no doubt. Before I forget, I just wanted to bring up this Dallas Baptist Louisiana series because I feel like UNC Wilmington and Southern Miss is literally identical type of series. 2 mid-major strong houses. DBU and Louisiana. DBU won that, lost that opener Friday, came back and won the series. Coastal did it at East Carolina. DBU does it on the road. Southern Miss loses that opener, came back to win the series. And it just shows to show you how good those 3 teams are. And I think Louisiana I think they're better than their record. I think they just can't get over the hump. So I think Dallas Baptist going on the road to Lafayette and winning that series after losing the opener, it says a lot. It's hard to do, especially on the road.
Yeah.
So.
Props to the Sunbelt for scheduling this week 4 really well. They think about it. We already talked about Southern Miss scheduling UNCW, Louisiana Lafayette scheduling Dallas Baptist. We mentioned, what was the other one we just mentioned? Hold on. Coastal going to East Carolina. But don't forget, James Madison went to Charlotte. Charlotte was one of the favorites there in their conference. Really good team every year. Who was the other one? There was 2 or 3 other.
Troy went on the road to Upstate, not the most difficult.
Oh yeah, Troy went to Upstate, who was one of the favorites to win the Big South.
App State went on the road to Charleston.
I was going to say I hate to keep pandering, but App State they lose on Friday in a 1-run game. Saturday they win 13-0. Ben, we saw those bats in Montgomery last year, dude. App State rakes and ain't just in the mountains. They end up losing today in a little bit of a blowout, but at Charleston, a favorite in their conference as well, too.
Hey,
and then Texas State played somewhere, too.
They were at Campbell.
Texas State was at Campbell. These mid-major conferences and teams must have said, hey, week 4, we're going to just battle it out. Like, you're the best in your conference. Okay, here's our 3rd best team. We're going to send them over there. The scheduling was beautiful.
At Louisiana Tech.
Do you know what it sounds like, Ben? Ben Dimitri, it's starting to sound like next season, week 4 is going to be the 11.7 Invitational. Let's get all the frisky mid-majors in one spot. Let's go to a spring training place, have 4 fields. Let's get the top 16 mid-majors in y'all's rankings, and let's do battle.
Guys,
that's the way it needs to be. Like week 4 next year, let's have an 11.7 classic. And if you are in the Sunbelt or the American or Conference USA or the CAA, wherever, come and play.
Hey, go, damn it.
No, we were doing it. We were chipping on each other's toes. I will say this as a call to action. I know there are mid-major coaches listening. We've toyed around with this idea before. Let us know tomorrow. I want to know the reality of this because I do believe that this is something that we can actually pull off. The call to action. Mid-major coaches, let us know tomorrow. Would you want to come play in something like this? Something to think about.
We would broadcast it for free on our YouTube channel.
Oh.
6 cameras.
What if we did this? We make it regional style. You are guaranteed 3 games or 4 games, whatever you want. You just don't know your opponent the next day.
Love it.
Come on.
Love it.
Regional prep, week 4, right? Conference. You play Friday night, you win, you play the other winner. You're guaranteed to play Sunday, same thing. And then Sunday night, if you want a 4-game series, you want a championship, the 11.7 championship.
Yeah. And to make sure that people are playing for the bronze medal, because I think we all remember those travel baseball, games on Sunday afternoon where you're playing in the consolation bracket for third place. Mandatory guarantees on Sunday afternoon for all games.
Beautiful.
Something to think about. You want to see the boys play harder than ever?
Oh, yeah. And we do game day show with the field in the background. Each coach comes on for 10 minutes. Guys, you got to do it. Regional style. You don't know who you're playing.
We could pull that off. It can't be that hard.
No.
It's college baseball, man. It can't be that hard. Show and go. Anyways, let's talk a little ACC here. Two very surprising ACC matchups. Maybe one's not as surprising as the other. Stanford going into Chapel Hill and beating them 2 out of 3. And dude, you know what else is funny? I don't think Rentaro Sasaki has hit a home run yet either. Has he hit a home run? I know he's had 8 doubles or something.
I know he hasn't because we would have seen it on Twitter because everyone and their mother would have tweeted
it too.
Huh?
I'll confirm right now.
He has not hit a homer.
I think he has.
There's no way. 0 homers. And it's good, dude. Stanford is playing great baseball. They after an off year last year, it felt like they needed to replace a good bit of their lineup, and some of their guys got older as well. But it's the pitching that has the pitching surprised me. Was not expecting it to be this good right off the bat. They must have developed well in the offseason because it wasn't like they had like a Quinn Matthews coming back and returning and is going to throw 150 innings with 200 punch outs this year. They're relying on guys to I guess fit their role. Like they don't have the stud guys that we're used to seeing. So good for them. Stanford, I think, shocked me almost more so than what Boston College did to Virginia. I was so high on North Carolina thinking, I told Dimitri, don't put it on our pick'em this week because North Carolina is going to spank them. And I talked him out of it. Like that would have eliminated everybody from the weekend series pick'em survivor pool.
And if you want to go down that whole chain, like the reason why was you were like they split with Xavier. Like I'm not sure how I feel about Stanford. They're not going into Chapel Hill and winning their first ACC series across the country. So I think this says more about Stanford than it does North Carolina. I think North Carolina is still just fine. Stanford came in and showed West Coast baseball and handled them. But I think it also showed like, hey, this Xavier team who had to grind all weekend with Vanderbilt. So it just showed you, I think, some of these upper tier teams, maybe the gap is not as big between the middle tier and the upper tier. Maybe the Stanfords of the world are a lot closer than we think to the top 5, top 10 teams in the country outside of Tennessee.
I hope so. Do you guys think Stanford gets ranked in D1 baseball's poll tomorrow?
I mean,
I think so.
I think so. They've always loved Stanford. Stanford's only split. All they've done is split a series against Xavier. Other than that, they've swept everybody else. Fullerton, Washington. Yeah.
I don't know who you drop out. Because I think that's kind of what you're queuing up. Like I'm not really sure who gets the boot out of there. But to me, and I'm glad our buddy Noah in our group chat today kind of like pumped the brakes on me. I was like, oh man, North Carolina stinks. When in reality, I still believe that they are very much so a national host site come June. Like they're loaded. I think this was much more to know about Stanford. So to me, I don't know if this is overzealous. I think this is the most impressive weekend series win on the season. To go
I was literally just about to say that. I think it's about to say it.
Same frequency, brother. It's got to be, right? First ACC matchup. I know that all the graphics were hilarious, but to travel the entire country to go beat what many thought 1A, 1B, LSU, Tennessee. I had North Carolina 3 right behind them, in my opinion, with what we've seen from them this year. So to pull that off I think it's the most impressive one of the year.
Yeah. I think if we're looking at the ACC as a whole, I think you brought up Virginia right before we got into massive disappointment. Duke could be considered. They're 10-6, and I still think they're a disappointment. They ended up winning the series against Cal after getting their doors blown off Friday night and run ruled. It's like it was like one of those things like Duke just doesn't play well on Friday. They've lost to Cincinnati on Friday, Cornell on Friday, and lost to Cal on Friday. They've lost a lot of Friday night games.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. Between Texas A&M and Virginia, it felt like off-season, preseason-wise, unanimous number 1, number 2 in the country amongst everybody. And this is not just D1 baseball. This is Baseball America. This is your follower with 13 followers posting his top 25 on social media. Everybody had Virginia, Texas A&M. Oh, they're returning the most. They're going to be good. They were both Omaha teams, blah, blah, blah. And it's turned out quickly, at least as of March 10th, that these two teams might not even be top 10 teams in the country as of right now.
They're not. Not even close.
Would you say top 15 teams in the country?
I think Virginia is going to be the 2022 Ole Miss. Yeah.
Really?
They're going to be a talented team, and they just don't play well until the end. And if they get hot in May, everyone knows how good they are, but they're going to forget. They're going to forget how good they are and just talk about how bad they were this season. And it's like, whoa, buddy, where did this come from? That's the team everyone was talking about all off season.
Or you could take it a step further and say the 2015 Virginia Cavaliers that won the College World Series, who were a 3 seed, right? They won it as a 3 seed.
Yeah,
maybe we're seeing the 10-year reunion of it.
I can't confirm or deny that, but yeah, 100%. So don't just keep Virginia on your little notes in your little fine print, and don't forget about them.
They didn't have Evan Blanco, who was, I think, preseason their number 1 starter, go-to guy, ace.
Yeah,
I think what's going to be somewhat like, if you're looking at the who's going to hit the panic button harder after the weekend, both of these offenses, right, are so loaded with so many returners that you're just waiting for it to click. And I think that's why I still am hesitant to hit that panic button. Whereas A&M weekend pitching has looked a lot better than Virginia weekend pitching. But to your point, they are missing a Golden Spikes watch list and Evan Blanco. But the other days have still been kind of question marks for UVA. But who do they have? They still got Oak, and they still go to Omaha every year. So I'm still not ready to panic yet. It just hasn't looked clean at all.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right, let's talk Big Ten, and then after that, we'll do our mid-major top 25. We'll go through it, talk about our thoughts, and then we will do our midweek preview. So let's try to keep this one under an hour. Sorry, I know it's late here, Eastern time for me and Jack. But so Oregon plants their flag in the Big Ten, sweeps a fairly hot USC Trojans team on the road, and just says, yep, boys, we're here. We're going to be at the top of the standings now. And when you look back in May, we're going to be in the top of the standings. And it was impressive. Like, USC was no schlub. This was a team that was playing really good baseball. And Oregon just came in and said, nah, we're a better team. We're superior. It doesn't matter where we play. So any thoughts on the Ducks or the Trojans?
I think Oregon might be a top 5 team in the country. I think they're that good.
Ooh, you can't say that. They've lost to Toledo and Rhode Island and somebody else.
They have whatever. I mean, they had that series, but Rhode Island, they lost that shootout. 1-0, 11. Dude had the game of his life, going 10 innings in that game. All right, they won 19-12, 15-2, 20-11, 35-1. They blew out Columbia all weekend. Like, I still think this Oregon team is very close to a top 5 team in the country. I think they're that good.
They might have a top 5 talent, but they do not have a top 5 resume right now. As much as I love you shouting out the A-10 and being a shootout with the roadies, but
not.
Yeah. No, not yet, but they could be. I like it. I like where your head's at.
Hey, Dimitri, for the YouTube listeners, go ahead and say, pretend like you're putting fingers down as a catcher and say Oregon's a top 5 team. No, just say Oregon's a top 5 team.
Oregon is a top 5 team. Oregon is a top 3 team.
I'm shaking them off with my glove.
Oregon is a not top 10 team. That was how wow, man. That was so creative of you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm goofing right
Anyway,
now. It's 1 a.m.
I do
Anyways,
okay. Forget it's a top 5 team in the country. They are the best team in the Big Ten right now.
you know who might be a top 5 team in the country and maybe the best team in the Big Ten? Purdue. But Purdue made me look like such an idiot. I was claiming that Minnesota was going to win the Big Ten. They're built different. Purdue walked into US Bank Dome or Stadium, whatever you want to call it, and made Minnesota look bad for 2 games. Now Minnesota, I think, ended up winning today,
They did.
but Purdue, what a great start to the season for the Boilermakers. Shout out Hunter Roberts, got the boys right. That
Shut
was
up.
dude. That was a coaching staff we talked about the first episode. Like they have Lovelady from UCF there as an assistant. Um, uh, Barrett. Oh man, I'm forgetting the other coach's name. But like their coaching staff is pretty loaded with some good assistants. So Boilermakers, Boiler Bombers, looking good to start the year.
Ben, you're the king of overreacting, and it makes life so much more fun. I do it just as much.
I was
But
about to say, Mr.
you
Oregon
changing
top
your
5.
Changing your Big Ten pick to Minnesota was just such a massive overreaction.
Who did I pick before Minnesota? Who was my preseason pick?
Indiana,
Maryland. It was Maryland, actually. So either way, I
Maryland.
suck.
Anyway, yeah, Purdue. Shout out to the Boilermakers. This is the first time I think ever they started the season with such a spectacular record and actually showed up first week of Big Ten play. 2 years ago, they started undefeated, like 15-0 or something. Got their shit pumped opening weekend of Big Ten play. So things are changing in Purdue, Indiana.
In the spirit of keeping it with the Big Ten, I'll go quick. I thought that UCLA Maryland series that was such a fun pick in our weekend series that our guy Rock Chalowski just continues to hit Mammo home runs. They get run ruled on Saturday, I believe, 13-3-7. But to go win that game on the road in extra innings, it feels like college baseball is better when Southern Cal and UCLA are really good. Like we always joke about the West Coast exposure. Yeah, and Stanford, like it feels like as a country, like we've become a little bit tighter when those like name brands are putting on for the West Coast. That was really cool to come see them beat Maryland, especially in the rubber match today.
Yeah, Maryland was 4 outs away from winning Friday, and the bullpen blew it. The Maryland's bullpen just straight up blew it. Or I guess you got to give credit to UCLA for hitting the ball, but yeah, they were down 5-0, I think, in the 8th inning. And UCLA ties it. They go to extras. They put up a 6 spot. Bang.
Yeah, I mean,
one more Big Ten series.
4-5. It was 5. It was 5-3 in the 9th. Maryland was 3 outs away.
I thought Maryland was up 5-0 at one point.
They were up 5-0 in the 6th, and then 5-3 in the 7th.
Okay. So I was off by an inning.
Yeah, then 6-5 in the 9th, and Maryland tied it up 6-6. But I think if you pick Maryland this weekend, it was the right pick. It just didn't work out that way, but I thought Maryland was the right pick this weekend. You could argue that, oh, no, well, they didn't win the series. Well, obviously not, but I think Maryland was the right pick. It just didn't work out for them. The ball didn't bounce their way at the end.
Yeah.
I love having these West Coast teams on East Coast time sometimes. I love it.
Speaking of Big Ten and in our weekend series pick'em, Penn State, Indiana ended up being, I think, more of just a spotlight moment for the Nittany Lions, a team that was, what was their record going into it? Like 10-1 or 11-1 going into the weekend,
9-1.
and a lot of hype behind them, especially through social media and some of these college baseball people or people that cover college baseball. It was a team that almost made the NCAA tournament last year, catching fire at the end of the season. They bring a lot of momentum into this year, signed Paxton Kling. And then this was their spotlight moment against Indiana, and they took advantage of it and whooped them game 1 of the doubleheader Friday. They lose game 2, but then they come back and win the rubber match and plant their flag in the Big Ten and say, hey, we're a contender this year. Indiana was a preseason favorite for a lot of people. We just beat them week 1. Now, Indiana's still not playing their best baseball.
They're terrible right now.
They're not good right now. They're losing a lot of games, but
so bad.
It takes a good team to beat an Indiana-type team. So shout out to Penn State, winning 2 out of 3 at home and defending home turf.
Before we move on and jump into our midweek pick'em, I want to say really excited about the future of Northwestern baseball. Was on the broadcast for 3 of their games against the Citadel in the Charleston, South Carolina area. Coach Greenspan, he and his staff in their second year at Northwestern, man, it was kind of one of those series where like you sat down and you go, wait a second, I remember that name. Wait, no, but I remember that name too. They've done a fantastic job of getting into the portal and going to getting power forward guys and making sure that they're go-to guys. Like Crawford Wade was a Wake Forest guy for 4 seasons. Ryan Kucharak was the #1 player in the state of Arizona, was at LSU last year. He's at Northwestern. Like, it's going to take some time, but getting to meet him and his staff this weekend, like it was really like inspiring to be around him, the way that they talked about their program and they were so passionate about what was going on. They ended up splitting the series with the Citadel, but man, I really bright things ahead for Northwestern baseball.
We are not about to sit here and talk about how Northwestern is going to be a good program, dude. We are not about to do this right now.
Let me do it right now with you, Mr. Penn Talk. Right now, I'm shouting out the boy, saying it's going to take some time. Guy was main recruiter and getting Torkelson to Arizona State. Was on the staff and getting Kyle Schwarber to Indiana. Guy's got an eye for talent. Ben Greenspan, Dimitri. This is going to be now I'm fired up. I was just showing the boys some love because they were good to me this weekend. Now I might get the NW tattooed on my chest. This is how invested I am now.
Let's do a 3-year guarantee.
Oh my God. Make it 2.
2-year guarantee.
Next year.
They will not sniff a regional for the next 2 years.
Dude, this is going to be so much fun.
I was going to give you
2026. I want 1 by the end of next year.
Sign it.
This is going to be awesome.
Done deal. Not happening.
Book it.
They are not sniffing a regional. Hey, go Wildcats, man. Go Wildcats. Like, good for them. I'm sure they're really nice people. Northwestern is not making a regional in the next 2 years.
Book it.
Right.
I can't wait for like 15 months from now. And we hear this clip and we're like, did we say that? when Northwestern's admin has this clip saved in their files for 15 months.
Yeah, they did, Riz God. I'm going to send it to them after this. I hope they save it, keeping their bookmarks.
Dimitri, go ahead.
Your phone.
What? Set a timer?
No, I said set a reminder on your phone.
I don't care enough about this to set a reminder.
April 1st, 2026.
I do. Don't ask Ben. I'll do it. I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, Ben had nothing to do with this.
I did. I met some awesome parents at Northwestern who are fans of the 11.7 brand. It was cool to know it had gotten out of our shell. I probably don't do enough education on Big Ten baseball, and I'm invested this year. I'm all in.
Love it. I love it.
Dimitri, go ahead and pull up the mid-major top 25 presented by Game Time Sidekicks. And while you're pulling it up, let me tell you guys about our mid-major top 25 sponsor, Game Time Sidekicks. So as you can see here, I got a tumbler that has been unopened that I probably will give away at some point to one lucky fan. So GameTimeSidekicks.com. They do custom tumblers, not only with 11.7, which I don't think this one's for sale on their website. We also have a Pencil Talk logo here. Pencil Talk Game Time Sidekicks. They are the best. Officially licensed tumblers, mugs, cups, everything you can drink out of, they have it. And they're sponsoring our mid-major top 25 all year. They are somebody that wants to grow with us, and they're going to start including like the UC Irvine Anteaters and Dallas Baptist Patriots, Southern Miss. I think they already have Southern Miss and Troy, but some of these like baseball only schools, UC Santa Barbara, I don't know, like College of Charleston, they're adding to their collection. They're getting licensed right now. So go check out their website, GameTimeSidekicks.com. And you also get 15% off if you use promo code 11POINT7. So spell out 11.7, and you'll get 15% off. And here we are. We're looking on the YouTube page of our mid-major top 25. It goes as followed: 1 through 6, really 1 through 7, 1 through 6, with 7 being very close to that top 6. You can order them in any way you want. UC Irvine, Troy, Southern Miss, Dallas Baptist, UC Santa Barbara, and Coastal Carolina. all have very similar resumes, talent on the field. I think if those 6 played in a tournament and they played 100 times, you would get whatever 6 divided by 100. You would get an equal amount of champions out of that.
Guys, 11.7 invitational. Last week, first weekend of March, these 16. Could you imagine?
I wouldn't know who to pick to win it. I could make a case for all 6 of those teams.
Ben, who would you pick? Do you have to pick one?
I don't think I could pick out of those 6 teams. I try to repeat exactly what I just said.
Irvine or Santa Barbara, maybe.
Is it single elimination, double elimination, pool play, then a Sunday? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Top 2 get a bye. 3, 4 play. 3 and 6 play each other. 4 and 5 play each other. 3 and 6 play 1, and then 4 and 5 play 2. So basically, Dallas Baptist, Santa Barbara. The winner plays Troy in the semifinal. Southern Miss Coastal. The winner plays Irvine in the semifinal, and then you go to a championship.
Well, if 1 and 2 get a bye, I think that's very important with starting pitching. I would take UC Irvine to win if they got a bye. If them and Troy got a bye.
You take it.
Yeah, I think to me, Ben, I can't believe you're not smelling what I'm stepping in here. Completely unbiased. I'd probably take the team that's not ranked. I'm an underdog guy. Team that's won 6 straight, another weekend series sweep. I'd probably take the George Mason Patriots for me in the mid-major world to come in, throw the baseball really well. Sean Camp, James Quinn Irons, leading the country in hitting right now. No bias, just truth. I'd probably take the Pats, but if I didn't, I don't know. It feels wrong to bet against Irvine, especially with the success they've had against the P4s. Troy too. I think it'd be fun to watch these coaches play chess with how they'd square up their Friday night guys. I don't know. Coastal too. Their arms Friday to Sunday to me probably maybe the deepest outside of Troy. Flip a coin.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't sleep on Southern Miss in this tournament. I wouldn't sleep on Santa Barbara either. I think Dallas. Yeah, I mean that would be the sickest tournament ever in the first weekend of March. I think you would have every SEC team, every fan base watching this tournament. They would watch every inning of this tournament. A well broadcasted game. Oh yeah, everybody's watching it.
The way I'm looking at it, those 6 teams, and believe me, this might be a stretch. Any of those 6 teams could be a national seed. And then I think 7 through 11, I think they could host a regional. 7 being Western Kentucky at 15-1, Florida Atlantic 12-3 at 8, UNC Wilmington at 9, College of Charleston 10, Grand Canyon moves up to 11, and San Jose State at 12. Hopefully Hawaii will host a regional. We have them at 13. But doesn't it feel like that next group, Western Kentucky, Florida Atlantic, UNC Wilmington, Charleston, Grand Canyon, San Jose State, maybe not even San Jose State, we'll just end it at Grand Canyon, could potentially slip into a hosting role if they just go on a tear. I mean, that's a stretch, but those top 6 teams could be a national seed and hosting a super regional.
I think 1 through 6. We're gonna have 2 hosts. No, yeah, we'll have 2 hosts out of that top 6.
I hope so. We need 2 mid-major hosts.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Grand Canyon was the biggest climber, biggest riser, whatever you want to call it, of the week.
Sweep over Texas Tech.
Who is dog shit, but it's still a road sweep. Or no, it
was a home sweep. It was a home
sweep. Yep.
Dude, San Jose State, really good resume to start the year too. Won every single weekend series. They have a win in the Teague at Lafayette. So them sitting at 12. And then we got Tulane at 14, Xavier at 15, Liberty at 16, East Carolina 17, UAB 13-3, had a win against Auburn last week in a midweek, and then they ended up beating somebody pretty good this weekend, right? They were 4-0.
Who are you talking about? UAB?
UAB.
UAB played in that floor field tournament. They went 3-1. I think they lost to Michigan State today.
They lost Friday against Joseph Zurwa, one of the best Friday guys, but they only lost by like 1 or 2. So they played them well. UAB is good, and then now we're getting into one of the most fun teams in the country, UT RGV. the Vaqueros. They beat University of Houston in the midweek last week, and then they go and sweep another weekend series. So they're 6-0 in Southland play, and they also have a win over number 4 Dallas Baptist. Really good team there. Stetson falls to 20. They're 8-8. They lost their identity. They have not been the same since week 1. Georgia Southern at 21, and then we have 4 new teams. Southern Illinois Salukis, welcome back. They were always one of the top teams in like 2019, I think it was. One of the best offenses. They're back in the mid-major poll. They have one weekend series loss, and it was against, I believe, UTRGV first weekend at Edensburg, Texas. ETSU 12-3, representing the SoCon at number 23. They had a huge series win against Pittsburgh this week at home. And then Southeastern Louisiana 12-3, and the last team is UNLV, the Rebels. I can't see because of the Pins Rule logo, but UNLV 10-5 this year, and all 5 losses have been pretty quality. So there you go, top 25 mid-major poll. Some will agree, some will disagree, but we will find out here in the next couple months who's going to make a run to Omaha, because one of these teams is going to Omaha.
I will say this: Charlotte is really close. We were fighting over Charlotte. We decided not to put them in. It's hard to put a team in there when they played well. They played them tough. You've got to win games. Some of these other teams have much easier schedules, whatever you want to call it, competition. The winning game, the most important thing. If you can't schedule, if you schedule these teams and you can't win the game, maybe you shouldn't schedule so tough. That's just the only reality of it. So Charlotte is really close. I think they're probably talent-wise a top 25 team. There's a couple other teams that are probably talented enough. Louisiana might be a top 25, but they're just not winning games. They're not winning.
Oral Roberts was a team we considered.
Yeah. That's just what it comes down to.
Let me ask you guys a question here. This might be an interesting question. Let's say one mid-major team is guaranteed to go to Omaha this year. 100% guaranteed it's in. Would you rather it be on that list or off of that list? Think like Stony Brook of 2012 or Kent State of 2012. Somewhere along those lines.
What if you said 11 through 25?
Okay, wait. Would you rather it be 1 through 6 or 7 through 25?
7 through 25.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I'm going to give you a politically correct answer, though, as like if we're the mid-major podcast, I want a mid-major to win Omaha this year. I don't want to just get there. Like, if we're going to get there, let's go win the damn thing. And I think 1 through 6, like,
that's a good point.
I don't think there is a shadow of a doubt in any of those dudes in either of those locker rooms for those first 6 teams that are going, hey, we just want to like make a run to a super. No, like they want to go win the damn thing. So that's where like my answer would probably change a little bit.
100% agree. If we're being honest, I probably want 1 through 6, but if we want super Cinderella feel good story, 7 through 25.
Yeah.
Now there is a Cinderella team that is not on this list that could win Omaha.
Say it.
They have the players. They have the support. It's the Mercer Bears. Sitting at 12-4.
My God.
4 of their losses, not good losses. But
oh my God, bro! I will jump on the Austin P. George Mason train before I ever jump on the Mercer Bears train.
Don't say that. You don't mean that. Don't.
How about the High Point Panther train, boys? They're a couple ground balls away last year from winning that regional. Thurs are the real deal.
Hey, Jack, you just stopped talking about Austin P after 2 weeks. What's up with that?
Are you talking about the team with another weekend series win? I just wasn't going to try to rub salt in the wound.
I'm baiting you right into it. I want to hear all about the Governor's weekend.
Cam Nickens, who's got 7 home runs, the Houston transfer. John Bay with 2 more homers on the weekend. Yeah, no, don't worry. Govs Nation, bang.
Hey,
all right, let's do our weekend series pick them. Let's pick those series first, and then we'll go into the midweek while Dimitri pulls it up. Jack, I want you to pick 6. Pick one of these series to not be in it. We have we narrowed it down to 7. We need to get it to 6. Pick one not to be in it, and that will be the final answer.
Okay.
So Santa Barbara at Hawaii, Alabama at Texas A&M, Arkansas at Ole Miss, Vanderbilt at Auburn, West Virginia at Oklahoma State, Arizona State at TCU, and Florida at Tennessee. One of those has to go.
Take out Vandy Auburn. Too many SEC games
Thank
in it.
you.
To me, I think that's going to be the most lopsided from a pick'em standpoint. From a pick'em standpoint, everyone's going to pick Vanderbilt.
Why do you want Alabama A&M in there?
Because that's going to be – because we get to find out. To me, like I keep
the
waiting.
ultimate trap.
Time to find out. Yeah.
Guys,
so Vandy Auburn out.
Yeah.
Vandy Auburn is way harder to pick than Alabama A&M. A&M is winning that series.
You think so? Good. I'm glad you think
A&M
so.
is winning that series.
I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm going to pick every single SEC home team this year if they pop up in the pick'em, because it hit it like 80% or like somewhere around 80% last year.
That's that weekend's in Tuscaloosa, right?
No, it's in College Station.
It is in C-Stat.
A&M is winning that series.
I wouldn't be so sure. Well, we're gonna find out. Like we're gonna find out if the boys gonna wake up a little bit.
Vandy at Auburn is a way more marquee, harder series to pick.
Marquee.
Marquee meaning like difficult.
I
would pick Auburn in that series at home.
And I would take Vandy.
And I would, yeah. I like A&M and Bama because it kind of rolls with the storyline like pretenders versus contenders type deal, right? Like Alabama off to a massive start. A&M,
It's more of like a newcomer versus been there, done that.
Yeah, and we get to see if A&M wakes up a little bit. Who knows?
My vote would have been Florida at Tennessee because I don't know anybody that would pick Florida on the road against the best team in college baseball.
And that's why you leave it. Just like with North Carolina, Stanford, right? Like not a person in the world took Stanford in the right mind. That's why we leave it.
Bro, I'm not saying Tennessee, but if let's just say Florida gets out to a 4-0 lead after the first 5-6 innings, they have the bullpen to keep them there. They have the bullpen that can try to keep them there. All these other teams that have been playing have been keeping it close somewhat. 6th, 7th inning, Tennessee scores 10 runs when their first two guys come out of the bullpen. It's over.
Can we talk about that, by the way? I want to make this less than a minute, I promise. Tony Vitello's reaction to the walk-off grand slam in the 7th inning was so priceless. I can't remember who I think it was Ben McKee who covers the Vols. He's so freaking talented. If you're a Tennessee fan or if you like Tennessee baseball, go follow him. But he noticed his reaction. He's like, man, how much this program's changed. We're like, our head coach is pissed off that we're run ruling teams. There's like 4 teams in the country. I'm curious y'all's thoughts, and you know how much of a man crush I have on Tony V. This is the one thing I probably disagree with him on. I'm a big fan of the run rule. Like, where do you guys sit on it?
Yeah, dude.
Like, it's a no-brainer.
He needs to get his innings. He needs these guys to get out there and get innings. When you run with a guy, you're just like, fuck, dude.
But that's my point. Like, that's my point. There's like 4 teams in the country that need to get their arms ready and their arms loose and like getting guys the innings. Everyone else is like, thank God we get to save a couple leverage arms. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's weird. I think
the run rule is good.
Yeah, good. His reaction was so damn funny, though.
But that's a typical baseball coach. Like, fuck, I was looking to get him an inning today.
Yeah.
How many run rules does Tennessee have right now?
I'll tell you right now.
Do we think Tennessee will have more run rules or losses at the end of the season?
That's good.
Ooh. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's crazy.
You know they're going to add a few more in there. They're going to have about 12.
Yeah. The Grand Slam stat is nuts, too. 15 is the NCAA record, and they already have 8. Like, what the hell's happened? Like, what?
Hey, dude, they play in a Cracker Jack ballpark. Their ballpark is so small.
Why does this piss people off so much? Are we going to talk about this, too?
Small.
But who cares?
I don't care. I'm just saying.
Why does it make people so mad? Or why are they so defensive? Yankee fans deal with the same shit in the big leagues.
Because Tennessee is so good. There's one thing they can nitpick on, and it's that.
That's fair.
Keep harping on it.
Hey, speaking of talking about viral stuff, Have we talked
Oh,
about?
we opened the show. We opened the show on it.
All right, I'm just
You
making
missed
sure.
out.
Yeah, I know. Dang it,
Quick.
Had the identity been verified?
dude. They were on. Yeah, they were on the broadcast. They were on.
By the way,
They were on the radio broadcast today. I think that they won a future in college baseball. They worked, I believe, with the team, and they were on the radio broadcast with Joe Katz, who's
Nice.
so dang talented for Coastal Carolina.
Are they going to use it to try to become influencer? Are they going to use this at their viral moment like Hot Tua?
I don't know, but it would be if they started a college baseball podcast, they would probably be number one by next Friday.
Easily. I'd retire. Yeah. Nope.
100%.
No need to do this anymore. Did we decide on our weekend series? Which one are we getting rid of?
Yeah, Vandy. See you later.
Vandy and Auburn.
He made his pick, and we just debated about it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Pull up the midweeks and then we'll wrap up the show.
Wait, Ben, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one am I missing? I've Bama, Texas A&M, Santa Barbara, Hawaii, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, or no?
Yes.
Okay. Arizona State at TCU.
Yep.
Great one.
All right. Florida at Tennessee.
We're missing Arkansas at Ole Miss.
In Oxford.
Yep.
I think that's a fun trap one too, because everyone's going to take Arkansas, and Ben, I'm with you. I'd take the home squad.
Give me the Revs.
Yeah.
Sneak peek on Thursday. Give me the Revs.
All right, pull up the midweek. We'll get out of here after that.
Hey, one more. I gotta give a major shout out to Wichita State. They swept Missouri State this weekend. They were down and out. We were high in them preseason on both of them actually. Wichita State struggled in Honolulu, Hawaii. Looks like they got back to mainland, got some practice in, got refocused, and they swept a very good Missouri State team. So don't sleep on the Wichita State Shockers in the American Athletics.
Yeah, they were disappointing to start the year, but now they're playing good.
FAU, team to watch, team to keep an eye on. That's a good team. They handled UConn last weekend. UConn went to go take 2 out of 3 at Miami against the Hurricanes. FAU is a good team. #fire Arteaga.
Stop. I pull up the midweeks. Why don't you?
Random in me. I would never call for somebody's job, but that's just me being.
Jack, we were looking at the midweeks pre-show, and it's stacked. Tuesday is stacked.
Yeah. It's frisky.
A lot of upset potential here.
Let's see.
Can you zoom in a little bit more? There we go.
Yeah, hold on. Give me a damn second.
We have to talk about this birthday thing.
Dude, are they taking the double-decker bus down to Mississippi State, Ben?
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Oh, boys,
they're
Monarchs.
living on that bus. Old Dominion is living on that bus. They only play like 8 home games this year because their stadium's getting renovated.
You guys
Old Dominion at Mississippi State. Scroll down.
What? Don't look any further. Jack Coombs Field getting the best mid-major team in the country on Tuesday. Oops.
Ring-a-ling, ding, ding, ding.
There you go. Bang, bang.
All right, let's see. ETSU at Georgia.
Upset.
Well, no, Georgia will be down 8-1 and then score 9 in the ninth to win.
How about the Shocks?
Oh, love the Shacks. That's going to be a cold baseball game.
Yep. UNCG at High Point will be good test.
Nah, we don't. In this Tuesday slate, we don't give a shit about this game. Normally,
that's
Liberty
an appetizer, though.
Yeah. Liberty at Clemson.
This is a better appetizer, in my opinion.
Liberty destroys ACC teams. Stats do not prove that, but in my head, they always beat ACC teams in the midweek.
All right.
Everybody be quiet. Be quiet. I'm gonna do this just for the soundbite so that somebody can clip it. West Georgia could beat Tennessee on Tuesday. Look ahead game. All right, there's your clip right there. So if it happens, somebody play that and be like, Ben Upton is the sweetest guy in the world.
I'm gonna tweet the final out of that game, and then I'm gonna put in the second tweet that clip.
Yeah.
Only if West Georgia wins. Like, that was purely a joke.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
15-1. I'm gonna put that clip under it.
What's
No,
the
when
West
West
Georgia mascot?
Wolves.
Sick.
All right, here we go. Now, hey, we're starting to get into good stuff. Here we go.
So Southern Illinois at Western Kentucky. There's a mid-major top 25 matchup for you. UNC at UNCW. You just passed that one up. Scroll back up.
What?
I think I saw that. Did I not see that?
Terrible idea. Yeah.
Maybe scroll down. Maybe where did it go?
It's down here.
There it is. North Carolina at UNCW.
10 years.
Virginia, Maryland. And then there, Florida State host Florida.
Yo, let me ask your opinion. On Sunday, will there be 0 undefeated teams remaining?
Yes.
No.
So are you saying Tennessee sweeps Florida, or are you saying Florida State beats Florida Tuesday, sweeps Boston College?
Yes.
I don't know which one you're picking, but whatever.
I don't either. But I think someone's able to sweep the week.
Anyway, Club Omaha might be starting around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, because this game will be in the 6th, 7th inning, and then it gets even better. Miami, UCF, and then it gets even better. Alabama, UAB at 7. TCU,
I was going to say.
State of Slam Marcos at 7.
That's why I'm about to hang up this computer. But Ben, I know I've been wishy-washy on it. I've had fans hit me up in the old DMs and mentions about bringing it back, and there's nothing that makes me so happy than going live with you. But potential last basketball game of the season this Tuesday, College Charleston Cougars. That's why I'm up super late. They play again tomorrow. If they win, Tuesday night will be the championship. Wednesday, Club Omaha. If they lose tomorrow, which is not going to happen, but if they do, Tuesday, Club Omaha. If you're about it, sir.
The guy who did Charleston play today in basketball?
They played Monmouth.
What was up with Monmouth shooting a 2-pointer down by 3 with like 2 seconds left?
It was a tough business decision to take a 2 down 3 with no time left on the clock.
Yeah, crazy.
It was a tough business decision.
Jack, you need to cancel that game because you got the Vaqueros coming to Hattiesburg. You got the Post going to Dallas. Like, what are you doing? Grand Canyon
goes to LSU. San Diego, UC Santa Barbara.
UC Irvine, UCLA.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll cancel. I'm going to go call him right now.
Arizona.
Maybe the basketball game will get rained out.
Arizona State.
I'll do this. Yeah. Hey, you guys keep rolling. I'm going to hang up right now. I'm going to go do the rain dance. I'll let them know that I'm not going to be there. Club Omaha.
You got love. Arizona State at Arizona.
See you, Jack. Thanks for hopping on.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Wait, why is he leaving?
I think his girly friend needed him.
Wait, what?
I think his girlfriend wanted him.
Oh. Anyway.
Grand Canyon at Oregon. Big one.
Yeah, baby.
All right, we need to get off. It is 2 a.m. Eastern time.
I just think Arizona State at Arizona, sick. Irvine and UCLA, beautiful, gorgeous. What a loaded Tuesday.
Tuesday's going to be fun. Hopefully College of Charleston will lose tomorrow in basketball Monday so that we can do a little Club Omaha. But if not, it'll be postponed. We'll be back. But thank you everybody for listening. We will record an episode either Wednesday or Thursday this week. We're going to get Noah. He'll be available. Jack will be available. Friday is my son's 3rd birthday, so I will be in Jacksonville this weekend taking him to the zoo. So maybe I might, if we record Thursday, I might be in Jacksonville because I think I'm going to Jacksonville.
So what you're saying is we need to record Wednesday.
We can record Thursday. I got an Airbnb, but he's so pumped for the zoo, first time ever.
Oh,
it's all he can talk about. Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. Anyways,
are you going with the whole squad or just you and him?
The whole squad's going.
Let's go.
Everybody's going.
Let's go.
So, anyways, appreciate everybody for listening. We'll be back this week for the week 5. Wow, already week 5 preview. Crazy how fast this
we're 33% through the season.
Yeah, nuts.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, let's hang up. See you, everybody.